as you get to know Over the Rhine and the history of Cincinnati, you get to realize almost immediately that it's built on this craft brewing culture that was here in the 1800s. You know, there's underground brewery tours and all this amazing stuff built around brewing, but there were no breweries in Over the Rhine, and that seemed completely backwards. So I decided I better fix it. My name is Bob Bonder. I'm the co-founder and president of Rhinegeist. We're a craft brewery based in Over the Rhine in Cincinnati, trying to help resurrect the historic brewing culture that existed here in the 1800s. So I was born in Denver, lived there until I was 5 or 6, and moved to the New York suburbs. Went to school in upstate New York, and after school moved to Manhattan for 3 or 4 years doing strategy consulting. And when I finally decided to do my own thing, which at first was a coffee roasting business, I used the consulting tools to look at the whole country and try and figure out where in the entire nation would be best to go start my business. And Cincinnati was right at the top of the list. Great economic growth. The city was ripe for a turnaround. You know, the competition levels were right. I mean, the cost of living and the cost of doing business were really low relative to a New York or a San Francisco, and there was just so much potential. I think what surprised me about Cincinnati most when I arrived was the amount of young people who were intelligent and creative and looking for the right opportunities. It's kind of a perfect city to be a young, creative, you know, 25 to 45-year-old entrepreneur in. I can't imagine a better place for it. One thing that I found unique here was I could cold call or send an email to anybody in the entire city. Everywhere from, you know, the mayor to the guys running Fortune 500 companies, and get a response. And they'll sit down and have lunch with you. And they'll give you ideas and they'll talk to you, and, you know, if you position yourself right, maybe they'll invest in your business, or maybe they'll call their friends, or you know, it's accessible, I guess is the right word. I'm now a Cincinnatian for life. So, you know, when I moved here, I thought I would be here for a handful of years, and then I'd take my business and I'd probably go back to the coast. And with the opportunity that's bound here, there's no shot I'm leaving. I mean, I am legitimately will be a Cincinnatian for the rest of my life. Not just because I have a base of business here, but because it's just this perfect balance of a medium-sized city and a really small neighborhood. Like, there's something perfect about being able to walk into the neighborhood bar, always know a couple of people, but always see 20 new faces. That's something you don't always get in Manhattan or a San Francisco. And, you know, people are grounded here, which is nice, and people are friendly. And I love that. Make a visit, find me. Let's have a beer, and I'll take you around, and you'll have a hard time not being charmed by the city. I mean, it really is such a perfectly balanced place to live and to start a business and raise a family, and, you know, every stage of life.